facing head-on the emotions beneath the surface as we bridge from an old world of confusion and lack to a beautiful new world of freedom, abundance, and love with straightforward truth and inspired hope is what you'll find on The Charla Anderson Show. Collector and connector of fascinating people. And everyone is fascinating. Here's your host, Charla Anderson.
Good, beautiful day, you beautiful, beautiful souls. This is Charla Anderson, host of the Charla Anderson Show, collector and connector of fascinating people, and everyone is fascinating, especially you. I'm so grateful that you would take time to listen and join us on the Win-Win Women platform or on the podcast with Podetize, Roku, streaming, all those services. And this is show number 47, I believe. I'm entering my end of this whole season of the first year. I'm just kind of mind-boggled about that as we end the first month of 2024, which is another mind-boggling thing going on with me. Anyway, I just want to welcome you. Thank you for joining me. I have a wonderful guest, and I cannot wait to introduce you to Sharon Taylor. But before we do that, we're going to have a little mini vacation, a little breathing exercise. It's going to take 22 seconds to breathe 7 seconds in of calm. We're going to hold for 4 seconds and breathe out 11 seconds of gratitude. So will you join me on that so we can get centered? I can get centered at least and get this going. So here, let's take a slow, deep breath in, breathing in calm. Hold. Release. Thank you. So that's my way to get us centered and a little bit off the crazy media thing that was going on. So often we're so connected on our devices that we're not connected to our spirit and our heart and ourself and getting grounded. I highly recommend doing that multiple times a day. So there we go. Okay, so I have a fellow author that I've met through Beyond Publishing, Michael Bettler and Beyond Publishing, and she's just getting ready to launch a book called Hold My Hand, and so much more than meets the eye. So Sharon Taylor has joined me today as an author, a celebrated nurse, many years, a server in our world. And so Sharon, thank you so much for joining me. And I would love if you would just kind of speak about who you are, and then we'll talk about what you do, how you serve the world. Thank you for joining me.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited to be here and to share my story.
Go ahead. Let's hear who you are. Where are you? Well, let's talk about where you are and who you are and all the amazing things that are happening in your world.
Okay. My life story is one that of strength, resilience, and definitely a commitment to my family, my career, and personal growth. I'm here in Latson, South Carolina. Been in nursing for greater than 20 years. Love what I do, but my journey wasn't always easy. But yet I persevered and pushed through. So I would like to convey a message to all of you to let you know that you are not alone. No matter your age, no matter where you are in life, you will face some kind of struggle. My struggle was abandonment and shame, but yet I found the strength to transform and to heal. Just so don't ever give up on any of your dreams. As far as my story, I was forced into a challenge at the age of 3. My birth mother died and therefore left me with my grandmother, who did the best she could at her age. She was elderly. She raised me. She showed me, taught me love. But through it all, we still struggled. We faced poverty. Of course, I was a Black young female. How could I make it? Statistical say that I wouldn't, being that I didn't have my parents there. And then also I became pregnant, had a child out of wedlock. So all that was heavy weighted against me. But you know, anytime we go through struggles, the weight just keep adding on, and just not having someone to really talk to. But I held on to a dream. I saw things and I just said, one day I want to have that. One day I want to do this for my grandmother, or I want to be able to do this for my daughter. So I held on to those dreams, and that gave me the strength to propel. And so I encourage you, even if you fall, if we make a mistake in life, just try to fall forward, hold on to something. So I'm here. The title of my book is Hold My Hand. And the reason for that is that I believe that we all have someone attached to us or assigned to us in life. But if when I was a little girl, if someone had asked the hard questions, how could I help you? But things were more like in silence, Charla, that everyone knew my mom had passed away, but no one talked about it. But that bothered me. It hurt me. I wanted to talk about it, but no one did. But if someone was there to let me express myself, maybe the weight wouldn't have been so heavy. So I'm here to tell you, please find someone to talk to. Of course, all of us, I encourage all of us to find a mentor, someone that you respect, that you can feel confident sharing your information with. And then be open yourself up. I believe you can't live your best life until you have release some of the things that's been bothering you. So as my nursing career, I always wanted to be a nurse, simply because what happened one day, Charlie, I was a young girl in middle school that I saw my grandmother suffered a stroke in my presence. And here I am, didn't know what to do. And so that kind of bothered me. And from that, I think that started my nursing career, something that I dreamed wanted to be. And so I took care of my grandmother, would go to school, you know, come and help take care of her. And so I've always been helping someone, and that's on my paternal side. So that was my paternal grandmother. So I took care of her the best I could. Of course, there were other family members as well, but that was I lived for it. I just wanted to, because I felt that I was in the house when it happened. No one else was there. And if I felt like I let her down. So I gave it all I had to take care of her, the best that I could at the time. And then, God called her home. And then my maternal grandmother, who actually raised me later on in life, she had a stroke. So here again, I find myself thrust back into the caregiving role, that I took care of both of my uh, grandparents, not be knowing that that is something, my true calling in life. I know I wanted to be a nurse, but now I really know that's my true calling, because a little over a year ago, I had I was involved in a fatality. It was myself and a motorcycle. It was a devastating day. I don't know how many of you know that things can happen like in a split of a second. And I see, Charla, I see your book there say split second transformation. And that's just how life is. My grandmother immediately had a stroke. My second grandmother, another grandmother had a stroke. And I worked as a nurse, taking care of others, but at the same time as I am providing care, trying to help others heal, I was hurting in the inside.
So yeah, so I think, thank you. The background of your story is amazing, and what I really was thinking about this morning actually was like, there's so much to every one of us, more than meets the eye, right? We just are
Yeah.
going about our business, and what I know about you is, because of your experience, you are a server, and we touched on this before the show. I was a flight attendant. I am a server. And so often we serve others to the detriment of ourselves without recognizing that we're really not taking care of us as well, right? So sometimes it takes something tragic. And you said that horrific accident kind of shifted the way you're in a split second. Now, my book, Split Second Transformation, Change Your Words, Change Your Life, 31 Daily Practices. Yes, it can be words. It can also be situations, and it completely change the trajectory of who you are or where you're headed. So you've suffered through a lot of things, and what I've learned and what I notice is, I think there's not one of us walking this face of this earth that doesn't have trials and tragedies and traumas that we must overcome. So I wrote this when I was reading and trying to figure out who you were, that I wanted to project out to my world. I said you're a dream advocate and mentor, because you said you want to mentor, you love mentoring, and you really want people to find their dreams. So you've got a book called Hold My Hand. You've got a whole new in the second season of life, right? I'm 70. I know you're a grandmother of 5. You know, we are in our so many of us are just kind of starting over at this later stage. And so tell us more about that. Where are you headed, and why are you so passionate to help those around you, and perhaps mentor those around you to find their dream and literally follow it?
So here, now that I've found the strength to heal from that accident, again, that was a split second that my life, just in a split second, everything was like slow motion. I could see my life just flash before me. And at the end of the day, and I that was very horrific, that I prayed and God said he chose me. So I know there was work for me to do beyond what I was doing. So therefore, I know that I have to do more. And so what I can certainly give is my time. I've just now a part of a modern day Esther mentor group. I would love to mentor others. I want to be able to give back. He gave me life and life to work it to help the kingdom, that his heaven, a little bit of heaven here on earth. And I want to be able to help others meet their full potentials. Maybe my destiny would have, I know it's all in God's timing, but maybe I would have done things even differently had I had someone to help me. So this is what I want to help young ladies, more especially. It could be all gender, sex, but mostly young ladies, to help them reach their destiny.
And how are you finding them? Are they finding you?
Both. I guess I don't know what it's called. They say, and I'll take from my church or wherever I go, my name, and I'm not the oldest one in my church, but everyone calls me Mama Sharon. People just happen. So if I be somewhere there, or the calls will come in, and they just want to share their story. And I recall saying, why everybody's calling me or asking me questions, but not knowing that I guess they saw something in me all along. So I have been doing it, Charla, just not starting it. But the accident made me realize that I have something that I can offer to others. And I thank God that I'm able to do it. So that's my press now, to give it my all.
So I love the idea that people see something in you. I believe that sometimes it's a choice. Sometimes it's who you are. Sometimes when I chose, it's been the last few years, just to say, just let my light shine. Right. Let me love the people in front of me. Let them feel that love. And when people see that and understand, they sense it more than they know it, right? They sense it, and often don't even want to leave. They kind of mingle around. I collect people. My tagline, collector and connector of fascinating people, is there's a reason for that. at Aldi's, I collect people. I have new friends because, we're just kind of in that same space, and I'm open to receive, and I'm open to give. And I believe that sounds like you've been practicing that all along without even knowing it.
Right. And I always try to, there are a lot of quotes out there, but there's a quote by Michael Jordan that I love. Always turn a negative situation into a positive situation. And you can always find something positive. There's always things that's worse than what you're going through, even though you feel that, what you're going through is, it certainly could be awful, but it could be a whole lot worse. So always I would encourage everyone to find a positive in every negative.
I call myself outrageously optimistic. Things are, is everything perfect? No, not even close. It's like, I think people see people and think that they have a lot easier life, but I believe it's a choice, that one that they're watching, it's a choice. They've chosen. Things happen. Life happens. I call it life keeps lifing. It happens. It happens. It happens. I mean, today a lot has happened already for me, and you just keep going, and you don't let the external circumstances change who you are, because what's happening isn't who you are. It's what you're dealing with. And it also is your character. How you manage these things that are coming in is defining your character and your strength. And so, yeah, we've got life keeps lifing. We're always going to have something to deal with. I would love, that might be one of my questions when I get to ask, I go, why are relationships so hard? We got all this other stuff to deal with. Can't we just have something that's easy? But every single thing we do and every single thing we go through is a testament. It's a test for our testimony. I guess we've heard that cliche, right?
I also believe we go through things to help others. So we need to be able to verbalize our testimony, share it, because it can be a help to others. It certainly can help others.
Well, yeah. So everybody, I mean, it's an example. I got through it. You can too. I got through it. You can too. We're going to do this together. Let's lock arms. I'll work with you through it. And I feel like that's a whole part of what you're looking to do, is just really lock arms and find a way to make a difference and help the next person.
That is correct. Yes, that is so true. That is my prayer. I ask the Lord to help me speak my truth so that I can help others. Because like I said, even back then, and some others who may be listening, you want to be able to speak it, but you may be afraid. In my time, my upbringing, if I wanted to seek help, then they felt like something was wrong with you, or you're strong, you shouldn't, it's okay, be quiet, just live the life. Don't tell your story. It's embarrassing and all of that. But there's another cliche say, you tell the truth, shame the devil. So I believe that you should go out and speak your truth, and then nothing will be holding you back. It would be nothing, go out and share it. Just tell it.
No, yeah, the truth shall set you free. But so, and I'll touch on this piece that you said your mother died and nobody would let you talk about it. And it's like, it's a non-event, but that is not helpful in most cases. You have a sounding board, someone that is willing to just hear your tears, hear your loss. But then again, we aren't trained to do that. There's not very many people that seem to have an innate capacity to be that empathizer and just the ear. Sometimes we don't need any advice. We just need an ear to hear And it's not just as children, and shame. You said you had shame and around things, and being a young mother, and all of those things that go with that, and you survived. Oh my gosh, there's a lot. You can't. There's things I think, how the heck did I get through that? And here we are. We did. We survived. We are thriving. And now it's our job, it's our calling to serve others with this,
That's
with our
yes.
gifts, And so let's talk about your book.
Mhm.
Tell me, hold my hand. I mean, you're launching within probably a month of this book, and I'm so excited, and I know exciting how fun it is to have a book launch and to get that word out. We want it to be perfect, and it's not necessarily always, it can't be perfect. Nobody, there's no such thing. We want excellence. And so we can settle for excellence and not perfection, right? So I know you were talking about that. Get that book out there, girl.
So my book will launch on March 30th. Hold my hand, and I am very excited. Again, it's truly just telling the journey, the story of my life, just letting others know that they are not alone. Please find someone to talk to. I am here to help hold your hand if you just need a sounding board. Just speak your truth and find something to hold on to. Never give up on your dream. So I wanted to become a nurse. Going back to my nursing, I wanted to be a nurse. It's even in my high school yearbook. I want to be a nurse. So my first year, I went to college, and that's when I found out that I was pregnant. So I had to drop out of our college and stay home and take care of uh, my daughter. And I still had that desire burning in the inside. So that was 1985, and I didn't go back to nursing school to 1999. And the Lord has blessed. After I got married, my husband allowed me to go back to school. So I started off, so my career started off as a CNA, an EMT, and then in 99 went to nursing school for my LPN, year later my RN, and it just propelled. I just kept going, regional director of nursing over several states. Now I'm the senior compliance officer. I have 4 states that I manage, are all in the nursing career. So that's why I'm here to tell everyone, do not give up on your dream, no matter what obstacles you may find in your way. Just if you fall again, fall forward, get up and keep going. So that's my story. It took me from 85 to 99, but I made it by the grace of God. I didn't give up on my dream. So
Nursing, like that. Yeah. So the book is about hold my hand, finding somebody, getting a mentor, telling your story of overcoming, and it's a legacy for your family as
yes.
well.
Mhm.
And so I'm thrilled for that, that you've taken that big step, and so many people, I'm a Zig Ziglar legacy certified trainer, and Zig, every time I saw him, he said, have you written your book yet? He died in 2012, so it's a long time ago before I literally got my book out, my little one, in 2017. But I've done it, and I've done 2, and I'm on the road to 3.
Mhm.
And so we're just gonna punch through.
Yeah.
We're gonna punch through. And so one of the things about Win-Win Women, this platform, this
Mhm.
weekly live TV show that I've been doing now for almost a year, um, has an interactive phase on it. And so I want to just offer, if you're okay, I believe we have a guest today. Not you're my guest, so it's the terminology is tricky. A visitor or an audience member that is live on here, and if um, are you okay if we just if she has any questions or wants to open up and have a discussion with us? Okay. So, any guest that may be on, if you want to, just put your video on or your audio, and just let's join in our conversation. See if you have anything to share with Sharon and Charla. Let me see. It's LaToya. And I haven't had a lot of visitors that over on my show. Occasionally I do, but I'm always excited and I really want to begin ramping that side up because how can we learn from each other if we don't share and ask questions? So if you're willing, feel free at any time to just jump on and we'll continue until I see that you've chosen to uh, either open your camera. Oh, there she is, LaToya. Hi. How do I know? How do you know about the show?
I guess I would be the original mentee for Sharon Taylor. I am her daughter, LaTanya.
LaTanya. Okay, so that's my part of my deal here with this show. I've got to get my
That's
glasses on and
okay.
start looking silly. Oh, what a blessing to have you here to contribute to this conversation. So you're the, you probably, can I ask a hard question?
You can go ahead. We'll
You don't
see.
have to answer it, but when there are certain personalities perhaps that when they hear that, mom got pregnant unexpectedly and, I'm the product of that. Well, what a blessing. First of all, otherwise you wouldn't be here. And secondly, some people take that into a shame thing too and go, hey, I wasn't wanted. I misdirected the career, whatever does that. And I don't believe that that's you.
No, not at all. It's actually
Okay.
the complete opposite. I like hearing my name. I think everyone in the world likes hearing their name called. So it's kind of cool to believe that my mother was able to turn a situation around in like one of her quotes, she said, turning the negative to positive, and then use me as like an anchor to make sure that she has to accomplish her dreams now. She doesn't have a choice because she has this little girl that's, needing her mommy to do her best to make sure that I have. So I think that's amazing, and I definitely learned a lot from her. Like I said, I'm the original mentee.
And that actually gave me chills. I mean, I feel like there's so much truth in what you're saying that everything is choice, right? We can choose to turn to be negative. We can choose to be positive. We can choose to, I heard a friend of mine this morning, she had a friend that a young man, he decided to stop biting his nails. And he said at 19 or whatever he is, and he stopped biting his nails. It's a choice. And so often we think all these other things have to do, but we can just go, it's a split second transformation. I can change my word right now and change my life. And
Right.
if I don't like where I am right now, because where we are is all we got. If I don't like where I am right now, I can make a different choice, take my next step. Maybe, right? Does that make sense?
Yes, ma'am. It makes a lot of sense. I agree with you. Yes, ma'am.
So
I just wanted to pop on right quick to say that I'm extremely proud of my mother, and I cannot wait to read the book myself from beginning to end. And thank you for having her as a guest on your show.
Oh, it's my pleasure. And you're welcome to hang on. We can have another 5 or 10 minutes or half hour if we want to, but I usually try to close it around about 40 minutes. So, what are you up to now? Is your, let me see, 80, my children are born, my middle child is your age. So what is your, what is your hope and dream? What is your hope and dream?
Okay. So first, I am married with 3 children. I have 3 of her 5 grandchildren, and my hope and dreams is to change the world. And I know that I can do it because what my mom wanted to do, she's done it, and exceedingly. She's only says limited information here, but she has done so much more for so many others. So I know that seeing her life and knowing her journey, that I can do everything that I believe that I can. As long as I believe I can do it, I will. She did it, and so can I.
And then you've got 3 other ones that are going to be doing it as well because you are. So this legacy piece is huge. Ziegler was really huge on legacy too. And so this legacy piece that you are mentioning, and it's, it started with grandmother that took her on as I'm sure it wasn't like a walk in the heart to all of a sudden have to raise, a granddaughter that isn't always the simplest thing to do. And so you do what you have to do. You just do what you have to do. And those with full character continue doing what they have to do. And those that choose not to, I don't feel like they have a fulfilled life. They're not fulfilled if they've chosen to disregard their responsibility, so to speak. Does
Right.
that make sense?
Yeah. Totally. You have no idea how much that makes sense to me. But yes, but I'm going to jump off right now. But thank you again for having her and myself.
Oh, well, thank you, thank you, thank you. You can just go off video and stay on if you want to be listening. But I'm so grateful that you joined us. Wow. What a treat. I wish she's just beautiful. What a gift to have that legacy behind you, that mistake that happened in 1980, whatever. And I can't hear you again. To speak boldly and strongly when you
I've shared that story many times with others, to young ladies, letting them know that it was the act that was the actual mistake. But having LaTanya is a blessing. It was a gift from God, and she knows that. But having her inspired me to continue my dream morning, because now I knew I had to take care of her. So that's why I say you can always find something to hold on to. Yes, find something to hold on to.
Wow. And, that I love, it's interesting that you just say there's an act, right? It's an act of a moment in time, and women tend to have a whole lot more, what's the word, obligation to manage those acts that, are just kind of fun in the moment, but down the road, I mean, it's a lifetime commitment then. So I'm just noodling around on that fact. What do you have to add about that? I mean, what would you tell these young people that don't think it's any big deal just to hop around and?
No, it is tough. It's really hard. It was challenging. Like I said, my situation, my grandmother reared me. And of course, where the abandonment issue comes from is that my mother passed away, but my father was still there. But he didn't really participate or wasn't there in my life the way, and maybe he didn't know how to love. I believe he had issues of his own that he was dealing with, that I had to learn that later on in life. But growing up, that was truly another part that was hurting me, the loss from my mother. And then I felt like my dad also abandoned me. So that combination really weighed on me. And then me now having my daughter, I was born into poverty. So now I had my daughter that I had to take care of. And it's not, so yes, it's not, it is a big deal. So be careful. We need to be careful what we say, the things that we do, because it's going to follow us for the rest of our lives. Certainly, I'm glad that there is a forgiving God to help us get through. But you will still have all of that. And then at times, you're going to have those triggers in life where people would say it, or something will pop up that will trigger you, but you just have to stand firm on your belief to keep you strong, to keep you grounded. If not, it's going to take you back to that whatever situation you were in. So I pray today that you guys will be covered and protected. You have to hold on to faith and believe that you can get through it. And once you get through it, it's not the end of it. You have to stay positive every day. Believe that you still can overcome, because the minute you think that you have overcome, something else going to pull you back. It's going to be one of those triggers. But stand strong.
Stand strong, truly. I would like to, I don't know if it's I guess it's a value system that I would love to begin instilling a higher level of values and let the youth know that who they are, what they do it matters, and to set standards for themselves so that they can make better choices, perhaps. Does that
That is correct.
resonate? Yeah.
They have to know their self-worth. You have to know it. It wasn't until I finally there's a young lady, Tia Bureau Footman. I was called my first coach, when the first person that actually spoke into my life to help me. I knew, Charla, that there was always something bothering me in the inside. I knew my mom had passed away. I know my dad wasn't in my life, uh, but I didn't know the word until she said abandonment. And it was like fireworks. And y'all might say fireworks. Well, I'm scared. As scary as, I mean, just it's like a light bulb just came on, and I just flooded, I say the earth with tears, because it seemed like tears never stopped. I just kept crying. Yes, that's why I didn't have this. That's why this happened. That happened. This occurred. And it was all because of the abandonment and the shame. But it wasn't until I got that word and understood what I was dealing with that helped me to overcome. So I just mentioned that story. So I got a break. I got a release, but I didn't continue to embrace that. That's where those triggers will pull you back. But it wasn't until I had the car accident that I knew what was wrong, but that's after the accident is when I got my true healing, the complete healing.
Isn't that something that it really sometimes just takes sometimes, in Psalms 23 is like, he makes you lie down. He makes you slow down and stop. He makes you be still and know. And so that to me seems relevant to this story, right? So yeah, I mean, all of us, we go, 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 go. And all of a sudden we're like, what happened? And it may be a season for rest and
Right.
recuperation and renewal and and reevaluation even, right? So yeah, so nobody wishes some accident. Nobody wishes for um uh devastation of any sort, but it's inevitable that we will have it. We will have
Things that
something.
happen. Right.
Things happen. Life keeps living. Things happen, and we're going to truly have a come to Jesus moment where we're going to, oh my gosh, is this all there is? A lot of times, I think in our later, career change times, we're like, is this all there is? And me just going to work and being a mom, and all of a sudden, is this all there is? I think that question is an undercurrent for a lot of us that are shifting our direction in the later season of life.
Our heart goes out, and it will always go out to the family of the gentleman of the that died that day. So I just wanted to say that as well, because that's a big part of my story.
And it happened.
Mm-hmm.
I used to just say it spilled milk. It happened. And my sister that just passed 2 weeks ago, not even, she was on my show in December, and she was vibrant and beautiful and 80 years old and octogenarian shenanigans and just like most fun. And had a vibrant day just on the Saturday that she ended up having the brain bleeds type stroke on during the night. So it was tough, but she wouldn't choose to come back. Number one, I don't think she chose to go, but she certainly wouldn't choose to come back. And
Yes.
she has, this is the thing that I love when I stop to think about those that have passed forward and moved on to, they have no more pain. They're dancing with angels, and they have all knowledge. That's like, no more questions, no more mysteries. That's the part I'm like, please, she doesn't. And, she's helping from the other side. I believe she's gifting us from the other side. So it's, what I was going to say about it on the show, she's like, well, what I always said to my girls, was like, build a bridge and get over it. Build a bridge and get over it.
Love
And
it.
so to me, it's like, well, that's like my spilled milk. I don't have a whole lot of, if people think that I'm not emotional about certain things, I don't suffer, or I don't cry or a lot or whatever. Well, it's not that I don't, it's just that if there's nothing I can personally do to change it, let me just move on and be the best I can be pushing through it. So I don't know if that even makes sense. I don't know why I started saying all that, but you really because
It does.
spilled milk, build a bridge and get over it. Nothing you do is going to bring that young man back. Nothing I do is going to bring my sister back.
Right.
Nothing I can
That
physically
is
do.
true. That
All
is
I can do is continue the legacy of grace, or the legacy that they've left, and continue to blessing. I heard that a master is one who blesses. And I said, well, that makes me a master, because I'm like, maybe bless, maybe bless me. And now I'm changing the word to blissed, because I think bliss is a better word than bless. So
right.
I call my grand blissing now instead of. Well, is there any last words? How do people find you? And by the way, I created a little landing page for you. So it's called Sharon Taylor .now.site, or does it has your initial in it? I can't
It
remember.
has my initial F.
Sharon F Taylor .now.site is a little landing page. If you want to continue, get in touch with Sharon, that's just a really easy way to do it. And we'll build that out a little bit better if you want to, but it was just kind of something to have, because I know you don't have a site yet, and sometimes it's handy just to have a place to send
Thank
people.
you.
So,
Yes, thanks.
so they can put their name in there. There's no nobody's going to sell your information from us. I wouldn't even know where to start doing that. So your final way to find you is Sharon F Taylor.now.site.
Yes.
And I love that Sharon, you said it earlier, but they call you Mama Sharon because it's not just Sharon, your name, but it's sharing, it's a sharing. And I like that play on words there. So Mama Sharon, and any last words? What do you want your people to know? What do you want people to know? And what's your last call to action or your words?
If you fall forward, get up, keep your dreams alive, and you're not alone. There's always someone willing to help you. And I am one of those that will be willing to help you, to listen to you, to encourage you, to let you know that you can make it. I did, and so can you.
That is beautiful. Perfectly said. Perfectly said. I'm so grateful for you. So thank you for joining me on my show today, the Charla Anderson Show, collector and connector of fascinating people, and everyone is fascinating. And let me see. There we go. I've got to find that. So I often will say that everyone is fascinating, and no matter where you are in your world, in your walk, in your talk, in your life, you can be in the gutter, or you can be in the palace, and you're loved by God.
That's right.
And you're loved, and the harder people are to love, the more they need it. So when you look at the people around us, the harder people are to love, the more they need it. They don't know how to love themselves enough, like your dad perhaps didn't have the capacity to love himself enough to know how to love you. And that was a generation that didn't have the information that we have now. So there's always there are resources out here, no matter where you are and who you are. And so I'm just going to close down the show. And I always just want to end up by saying, choose joy.
Parting is such sweet sorrow. The Charla Anderson Show, encouraging you to stand strong and courageous with bold faith, no fear, immense hope, kindness, and love, especially towards yourself. Visit charlaanderson.com for replays, blogs, and more on her ever-expanding website, as well as watch her live TV show on winwinwomen.tv, Roku, Apple TV, and Amazon Fire. And so that we can continue learning together and growing this community of beautiful souls, we invite you to share the Charla Anderson Show with your circle of friends. Until we meet again next week, remember always, choose joy.